U.S.-Russia relations have historically been fraught with conflict and disagreement. But according to author Ann Coulter, Russia is not America's enemy. For more on this, we're joined tonight by Ann Coulter herself. Ann, nice to have you with us tonight. This is quite the back and forth that we're seeing on Capitol Hill, and I take notice of your conclusion that Russia is not America's enemy. What brought you to that conclusion in this environment?
Well, first of all, I'm so happy to be appearing on RT TV. Maybe I could get Comey to surveil me. Did you see that came up at the hearing today?
Well, I tell you what, we're the most popular gig in town right now. There's no question about it.
Yeah, I think it would be very educational if he started listening to my phone calls.
You know what? We actually had a network yesterday air that we don't pre-screen people when they come on the air, but we're supposed to be propaganda. I mean, it was beautiful. Anyway.
Well, so a congressman asked Comey, is it enough to just appear on RT TV? Will that get them surveilled? And he said, well, not that by itself, but, you know, if they do it secretly, and by the way, I didn't tell anybody I was coming on, so listen to me, Comey. What I just started noticing this hysteria over Russia, and as a student of the Cold War, I wrote a lot about it in my book Treason. I mean, for Pete's sake, these are the exact same people who didn't mind when we were actually facing a Russian enemy, the threat of communist worldwide domination, which Ronald Reagan ended. But, you know, they didn't mind the Stalin show trials, didn't mind the mass famine in Ukraine. We had Sting and the talking heads talking about how the Russians love their children too. And now suddenly, oh my gosh, what has happened?
Well, it's the Democrats. What is the fixation that the Democrats have with Russia?
Well, first of all, they can't forgive Russia for giving up communism. Secondly, they really do not like the fact that Putin has Obama's position on gays circa 2008, won't allow, I guess, gay adoption. So that was already setting up Russia to be hated by the Democrats. And now, I mean, part of it is obviously that they're trying to use this apocryphal, or at least no evidence-based, collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia in order to delegitimize Trump. But I really think, I mean, I think back to the Cold War days, and there is a tendency on the left in this country to always be picking apart our allies or potential allies and potential friends and seeing, you know, they're held up to a much higher standard than Stalin ever was, certainly, than Castro is. Raul Castro, we had that famous video of Obama leaping up on stage to shake his hand. No, we're supposed to have, you know, good relations with Cuba and the Soviet Union and Merkel, who's inviting all of the Muslims there. Well, my point is, I think the real enemy now manifestly is not Russia. It's not communist Russia anymore. It is radical Islam, and this is something the Russians have been dealing with for a few centuries. They're the ones, everyone will probably remember, who tried to warn our government about the Tsarnaev brothers, and our government blew them off, and then those two brothers set off a bomb at the Boston Marathon.
And this is where President Trump has tried to draw a link or comradeship with Putin moving forward, that fighting ISIS would be a good thing and doing it together. Is that going to be the best step forward in this toxic environment? I mean, today you would have thought nukes were going to be flying back and forth. You listen to the Democrats. I mean, here's a president who's trying to make peace, to forge a coalition moving forward with the Russians to figure out Syria, and all of a sudden he's running into all these roadblocks on Capitol Hill. And it's the Democrats.
Yes, and mostly the Democrats, also John McCain and Lindsey Graham, who apparently want World War III with Russia. I mean, part of Trump's message was, we've done enough wars, we need a break from wars for a while, at least wars we don't need to get into. I mean, he is increasing funding for Department of Defense, but Americans are sick of war, and although I was a huge supporter of the war in Iraq, I blame Obama for stealing defeat from the jaws of victory. But whether I'm right or people who were opposed to it from the beginning are right, look at what has happened there since. Would you do that again? And, you know, you just have these warmongers. And that isn't where the country is right now. People have been suffering. The middle class is suffering. The working class is suffering. We want the wall. We want deportations. We want jobs. We want better trade deals. And we do have to deal with radical Islam. Yeah, Putin ought to be a good ally. But remember, at Trump's press conference a couple of weeks ago, Trump himself said, you know, with this environment in the media, with you people carrying on about Russia, if I tried to make a deal with Putin, you'd go crazy.
Finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. Hillary Clinton said over the weekend that she's ready to come out of the woods. You really want her to run again, don't you? Well, yeah, I kind of do. That would be fantastic. I'm so glad Donald Trump could run against Hillary and not against Bernie Sanders. 20 seconds on health care. Are the Republicans going to get it done?
I don't like this health care bill. I mean, as I've said many times, what I think needs to be done, it's hard to remember what a free market is like in something where we've never had a free market. Yes, we have to take care of the poor. Yes, we have to take care of people with expensive medical problems. But what we need is a free market in health insurance. I would like someone to explain to me why I can't buy health insurance without paying for everyone else's pregnancies, marital counseling, gambling addiction, and pay for their kids to stay on the plan until they turn 30. I just want health care to buy it the same way you buy flat screen TVs or car insurance.
Ann Coulter, always nice to have you with us. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.